The Nexus arena fell silent as Krexthul the Destroyer stepped into the ceremonial combat circle. 8 feet of pure muscle and razor-sharp carapace, the Zephyrian warlord had never lost a single combat in his 300-year career. His mandibles clicked with anticipation as bioluminescent war paint pulsed across his exoskeleton in traditional challenge patterns. Across the arena, the human representative shuffled forward in what could only be described as fuzzy slippers, holding a ceramic mug that read Galaxy's Okayest Engineer in faded lettering. Marcus Chen, maintenance technician 3rd class from the UES Prosperity, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else in the known universe. "This is your champion." Krexthul's translator rendered his incredulous hiss into standard Galactic. This soft-skinned biped who appears to be half asleep. The crowd of alien dignitaries murmured among themselves. The Altarian ambassador's crystalline form chimed nervously. Even the stoic Corvin delegation shifted uncomfortably in their environmental suits. Marcus took a long sip from his mug and squinted at the towering warrior. "Sorry, what was the question? I'm not really functional before my second cup." The challenge had been issued 3 cycles ago when Krexthul had boarded the human vessel, demanding tribute according to ancient Zephyrian law. Captain Rodriguez had calmly explained that humans didn't really do the whole tribute thing, which had escalated into a formal combat challenge that now threatened to spark an interstellar incident. "I challenge you to honorable combat, human. Winner takes all. Your ship's cargo, your crew's freedom, and the right to claim dominance over this sector." Marcus blinked slowly. Right. Combat. Got it." He looked around the arena, noting the various weapons racks, energy shields, and combat drones hovering at the ready. "Quick question though, does this whole thing come with coffee? Because I'm going to need some caffeine if we're doing this properly." Krexthul's 4 eyes narrowed. "Coffee? You jest in the face of glorious battle?" "Not jesting. Serious question. See, I've been up for about 36 hours straight fixing the quantum flux stabilizers, and honestly, without proper coffee, I'm basically just a very polite zombie." The arena's control booth buzzed with confused chatter. This wasn't how these things usually went. Typically, there was roaring, posturing, maybe some impressive weapon displays. The human's apparent complete lack of concern was unprecedented. "Very well," Krexthul snarled. "If coffee will prepare you for your doom, then coffee you shall have. But know that nothing will save you from my wrath." Marcus brightened considerably. "Thanks, appreciate it. Could you make it a double shot? Maybe with some of that synthetic cream if you've got it?" 20 minutes later, Marcus stood in the arena holding a fresh cup of coffee that steamed enticingly in the artificial atmosphere. Krexthul had spent the waiting period performing intimidating war dances and testing various weapons, his war cries echoing off the arena walls. "Now are you prepared to face your destiny, human?" Marcus took another sip and nodded. "Yeah, this hits the spot. Okay, so how do we do this? First blood? To the death? Rock, paper, scissors?" "Combat to submission or death," Krexthul roared, selecting a plasma-edged battle axe that hummed with deadly energy. Cool. Marcus set down his coffee carefully on a nearby equipment crate and cracked his knuckles. "Just so we're clear, I'm an engineer, not a soldier. I fix things for a living." The starting horn blared. Krexthul charged with the force of a freight shuttle, his battle axe raised high, mandibles spread wide in a terrifying war scream. The arena floor shook under his massive feet as he closed the distance in seconds. Marcus sidestepped at the last possible moment. The axe whistled past his ear and embedded itself 3 inches deep in the reinforced arena wall. Krexthul tugged at it, momentarily stuck. "See? That's your problem right there," Marcus said conversationally, pointing at the weapon. "You're putting all your weight behind it, but you're not accounting for the momentum transfer. Basic physics." Krexthul wrenched his axe free and spun around, swiping horizontally. Marcus ducked, then rolled, coming up near his coffee. "Plus, you're telegraphing every move. That war cry might be intimidating, but it also tells me exactly when you're about to swing." He took another sip of coffee. "Want some tactical advice?" The destroyer's response was another charge, this time with claws extended. Marcus grabbed a maintenance tool from his belt, a simple gravitational calibrator, and tossed it at Krexthul's feet just as the warrior reached him. The device activated, creating a localized gravity well. Krexthul stumbled, his massive frame suddenly weighing twice as much, and crashed into the arena wall with a resounding clang. "Gravity's a pain, isn't it?" Marcus observed. "I deal with it every day in the engine room. Artificial gravity generators are touchy. You have to recalibrate them constantly, or they'll create random fluctuations." Krexthul struggled to his feet, clearly disoriented. What sorcery is this?" "Engineering." Marcus pulled out another tool, a magnetic field generator, and activated it just as Krexthul raised his axe again. The weapon was yanked from the warrior's grip and clattered across the arena floor. "The thing about being a maintenance tech," Marcus continued, "is that you learn to solve problems with whatever you've got on hand. Usually that's duct tape and coffee, but sometimes you get creative." Krexthul lunged with his claws, but Marcus was already moving, tossing a handful of micro-drones into the air. They swarmed around the warrior's head, not attacking, just buzzing annoyingly around his eyes and sensory organs. "These are normally for inspecting hard-to-reach conduits," Marcus explained as Krexthul swatted helplessly at the drones. "But they work great for distraction, too." The next few minutes were a masterclass in practical problem-solving. Every time Krexthul mounted an attack, Marcus countered it with some piece of mundane equipment used in completely unexpected ways. A sonic wrench became a disorienting noise generator. A plasma cutter set to its lowest setting created a net of energy barriers. Even his fuzzy slippers played a role, their anti-static properties neutralizing Krexthul's bioelectric attacks. Finally, breathing hard and covered in various fluids leaking from his overloaded systems, Krexthul collapsed to one knee. "How?" he gasped. "You are not a warrior. You carry no weapons of war." Marcus finished his coffee and set the empty mug down. "You're right. I'm not a warrior. I'm just a guy who fixes things when they break." He gestured around the arena at the scattered tools and still buzzing drones. "And right now it looks like your attack strategy was broken." He walked over and offered his hand to help Krexthul stand. "No hard feelings, right? You seem like a decent guy once you get past all the death threats." Krexthul stared at the offered hand for a long moment, then slowly reached out and grasped it. "I concede. The victory is yours, human." The arena erupted in confused cheering from the alien spectators. Marcus waved awkwardly. "Great. So, does this mean you'll stop trying to collect tribute from merchant ships? Because honestly, that's probably going to interfere with the coffee trade routes, and nobody wants that." Krexthul's mandibles clicked in what his species used for laughter. "Human Marcus Chen, you are the strangest warrior I have ever encountered, but I respect your unconventional victory. The tribute demands are withdrawn." Marcus grinned. "Awesome. Hey, want to grab some coffee and talk? I've got some ideas about how you could improve your combat efficiency. Mostly involves better understanding of momentum and leverage, but there might be some interesting applications for your natural bioelectric capabilities." As the two of them walked off the arena floor together, the alien ambassadors could only shake their heads in bewilderment. Somehow, in the most human way possible, a maintenance technician armed with nothing but coffee and engineering knowledge had just prevented an interstellar war. The Altarian ambassador's crystals chimed thoughtfully. "Perhaps we should revise our assessments of human combat capabilities." The Corvin delegate nodded slowly. "Indeed. Note for the files. Humans are most dangerous when they appear least dangerous. Also, never underestimate the tactical value of caffeine."